Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. A peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper, where the peck of Peter...
Okay. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers.
Peckers of pepper.
No. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Oh my goodness.
All right, what's to go? Let's go.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers?
It's the last line.
We were good though. We had it. Okay, let's do it one more time. You ready?
1, 2, go.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper,
where's the peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked? Yes!
I heard some pick.
No, I got it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. How much wood would a woodchucker chuck if a woodchucker chuck wood? Would a chuck...
What? No. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? He would chuck a wood as much it could as chuck as much wood. As a woodchuck would if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
You gotta say it fast. No.
I did it though.
You're slowing it down. You gotta say it fast.
Come on.
How much would a wood... Wait, what?
There you go. Exactly.
I
won.
No.
I won this one.
No. You slow down the second one.
Okay, you slow down like me.
Okay. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? He would as much as it could, and a chuck as much wood as a woodchuck would if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
If a woodchuck chuck. Oh, man.
Okay.
Blessings and love.
Yes.
It is always a great day here at Refuge and Fortress. My name is Emmanuel O.
And I'm Loni O.
And this is Philia. Welcome back to another week here with us. So last week we talked about I love him, I love her, but my parents don't approve.
Yeah.
And we had a storyline. It was with Steph and Dave. If you haven't checked that video, I want to ask you to check it from last week. But a follow-up question came up to that question or to that scenario. And the question was...
For the ones that didn't watch it, just give a quick recap of the story, right? Oh, you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Stephanie and Dave have been dating throughout college for 4 years. Stephanie graduates. She decides to have a graduation party with her family and friends and decides to invite Dave and introduce Dave to her family. Yes. After everything was great, the party was great. After that, Dave went home and then Stephanie's parents sat her down, talked to her, and pretty much said, Dave is nice, but we don't think he's the one for you. And we talked about what she should do, right? So now follow up, somebody then asked,
is there a right time to introduce my significant other to my folks, to my parents?
Exactly.
You know, the question was, is there a time that is too early, or is there a time that is too late? Right? It's
so
like,
when is a good time?
When is a good time to introduce your significant other to your parents? Yeah. If you're introducing them after you've gotten engaged, I mean, you know, exactly. So that is what we're talking about today. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, I just want to pause very quickly and ask you to please subscribe, like, and share with friends and family. Somebody that you believe will be benefiting from some of the content that we're going to be releasing now and forevermore. Amen. Amen.
So in this day and age, in a relationship or, you know, just dating, people tend to believe that, you know what, it really doesn't matter. Some people have this norm where it really doesn't matter when I introduce my significant other to my parents. It's not that important. I can just bring them home whenever. But now we're discussing, is there a set time, right? And there should be a set time. There should be a right time to introduce them. Like we said, there can be times that is too early or times that is too late. So that means there is a time where it should happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. And honestly, to answer that question again, like we did last week, I'm going to focus on the two people who are involved in this situation. We've got the couple and the parents. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, like, I'm not going to say there is a right time, because the right time for everyone is going to be different. But we can provide some guidelines, right? Some guidance as to when is the right time to inform your parents, your folks, about your significant other. So the first guidance that I would say, the first advice that I would give is, number one, when you're ready, right? When you are ready to give that information out to people. And when I say when you're ready, and under when you're ready, I'm going to break it down a little bit. And then the second part is when your parents are ready. Right. And under that as well, we're going to break it down to different parts, right? So under the part of when you are ready, right? Mm-hmm. Under the part of when you are ready, the first thing you want to make sure to test your readiness is when you've kind of checked all the important boxes to check without distraction. And what I mean by that is you've checked perhaps school is important to you, so you go to school, right? High school, college, and the likes, right? So if school is important to you and you believe that you're having a significant other would create some kind of distraction in accomplishing that goal, then it may not be the best time to even have a significant other or to even bring that person to your parents.
Exactly.
Because instead of them to receive it with love, the first question they're going to ask is, what about your school?
Right.
What about your job? Exactly. What about this? What about that? They're going to ask all these questions. And it's not really because they're saying don't date or don't date this particular person. It's really just saying, hey, if you start dating, you may get distracted. It may not allow you to really get done what you should get done in a specific time frame, right? So there is some time that you could be too young to have a significant other.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and just to buttress on that, it's a matter of looking at it as, okay, before you even start talking to me about a significant other, have you done this, and that? That's what we mean by checking those boxes.
Hitting your personal goals.
Let's just give an example.
Yep.
You're in high school. Don't talk to me about a significant other. You know, like at that point in time, you're focused on school. You're focused on your SATs, the colleges you want to go to. You know, you have crushes and all those things in high school and, you know, all those stuff. But those are just distractions, you know. It's just to pass time. It's not anything serious. And even if it is serious for some people, because some people have high school sweethearts.
Of course.
It's not a time to bring that to your parents. Because your parents is thinking, are you on the honor roll?
Right, exactly. and even if right, let's balance it out, right? Even if you will bring them to your parents, not as your boyfriend or your girlfriend, it could be as your neighbor, as your friend,
as a friend,
as a study buddy.
Bottom line is, you know, the conversation of having a boyfriend or girlfriend,
introducing,
you know, it shouldn't even come up while you're in high school. Now getting into college, you become more independent. You're an adult at that point in time. So those kind of conversations could come up at that point in time. So definitely pre-college, like high school, middle school, elementary school.
Whoa.
Don't even talk about nothing. Because some people come back, I have a boyfriend.
What? No. Elementary school. No, sir.
I have a girlfriend.
All right. So the next way rather that you can test your readiness.
So we're talking about when is the right time to introduce your significant other to your parents, and we're talking to the couple saying when you're ready. So the second second test of readiness is when you're serious, meaning when the relationship has gotten to the point of, okay, we're talking future things. We're planning our lives together. We have some timelines in the picture. You know, we're sitting down. We're actually planning.
Underline timeline.
Timelines, yeah. Meaning like you're planning things together. Like how are we going to move forward? I see a future with you. You see a future with me. How do we move on to the next step? When you get to that point, it is a good time to actually bring it up to your family or your parents that you do have somebody important in your life.
It's an indication that you're ready.
It's
an indication that you are ready to bring this person to your parent, because it's getting serious. You know, it's getting serious. I was gonna say, in the future, seeing that future together with that person, it's important to kind of make sure that your life intertwines together, right?
You're planning.
You see how things are gonna play out together, and it just tells you that you're getting more serious. And it's a two-way street, right? It can't be the one person who sees it as a serious relationship and the other person is like just playing around. Maybe they're not ready, right? You can't measure your seriousness by somebody else's seriousness. Let me say that again. You cannot measure the level of your seriousness in a relationship as to be the same thing as your significant other's level of seriousness in their relationship, because where you may be at mentally, the other person may not be there at all. And you could and if you don't have this conversation, you will not know, you know, or they could be giving you signs and you will be ignoring them, not knowing that they're letting you know, I'm not ready for no serious relationship right now. even though you may be. So until both of you are seriously ready for a serious relationship, don't bring nobody. Don't bring them to your
it's more
parents.
than just when you're ready or when the relationship is ready.
Yes, ma'am. And then the third test of readiness before you introduce your significant other to your parents, I would say, is when you're ready to open that part of your life up to others, right? When you're ready to open that part of your life up to others, because there are different parts of your life that you want to merge, with this person. And there's one thing where, in school or in a certain setting, whenever we go out to hang out, maybe we go to the movies, we are we're boyfriend and girlfriends, and we do the laughy, the lovey-dovey stuff, right? But then when we're in a different gathering, a different setting, it's like the vibe is different.
Right.
It's like if there's some people who have like this public display of PDA, public display of affection, and they have a problem with that. And it's like, in closed doors, I don't mind you holding my hands, but outside, don't touch me. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you when you're ready to open that part of your life to people, because it's going to be judged, it's going to be assessed, right?
It's going to be evaluated.
It's going to be evaluated, right? It's going to be critiqued.
That's the right word, right? I'm just throwing some.
I know, keep throwing more. I just want to echo.
I'm trying to think of some of the big words.
So people are going to look at your relationship, evaluate it, assess it.
It's going to be examined.
One more.
I'm thinking.
Continue. So
right.
It's going to be examined, right? So what I would suggest for you to do is this: follow that part of your life in I think in 4 stages. Bring
Vibe
your
checks.
vibe checks, right? Exactly. Bring that significant other out to a social gathering that you go to, where your other friends will be there, right? Let them meet your friends first. Let your friends hang out with that person. Vibe check them, see if this is the kind of person, you know what I'm saying? Because friends know you and they see some blind spots that you may not see because you're the one in love and they're not. And so, so if there are other blind spots that you're ignoring, they will let you know and say, hey, listen, is this, is that, blah, blah, blah. Some people are so bad, they will start talking to your friends. Hello, so you gotta be careful with that. So you want to test that vibe check first and say, hey, let me bring this guy to my friend's circle and let's hang out. Let's see how he rolls with my friends, right? After that, if they pass the vibe check with the friends, you take them to another level with the siblings. With the siblings, it's different. Why? Because the perspective that your siblings are coming from will be different. Your siblings go home with you. They are your brothers and your sisters, right? They know the family dynamics, right? And they're going to be more protective, exactly. And they'll be able to tell you, this guy is a perfect friend, but he may not rock and roll with our family dynamic. And you got to keep that in mind. Dad may have a problem with this. Mom may have a problem with that. So they will bring some perspective for you that you probably didn't know. And then after that, I would suggest you take this person over to your mentor. And I say your mentor before your parents because your mentor is somebody that you respect and honor like you would your parents, although they're not your parents, right? So they're able to give you that serious vibe check and that serious parental guidance and advice to let you know, yes, this is good, or maybe not so much, but you value their opinion, you respect them enough like you would your parents, and so you want to take it to that level. And then if by the grace of God, young man and young lady pass the friend check, pass the sibling vibe, they pass the mentor vibe, then we can say, you know what? Let me bring them to my parents. If my friends, my siblings, my mentor all say yes to this person, then I'm not afraid of introducing this person to my parents because I've kind of checked all the boxes and I've kind of done all the things that my parents would want me to do even before bringing him over. So it's not even a problem right now to bring that person over. So yes, is there a time to introduce your significant other to your parent? I would say yes, there is absolutely a time. You just got to be able to know when is the right time for you specifically. I rest my case.
And that's
I can just get up and walk away now.
All right, Judge Emmanuel. You don't have the gavel to just
boom.
But that's actually very, very important points and steps people can use, because it does help you kind of soften the introduction, because a lot, when you take it to the step of introducing your parents, you're pretty much getting to the point like, all right, what this is for the people that have
kingdom relationships,
that kind of mindset.
Hey,
you're getting to the point where it's like, okay, what's serious? I want you to meet my dad.
Kingdom relationships. We're talking about in a Christian home, Christian family, kingdom people who have the fear of the Lord and honor their parents. That kind of relationship. Now, there are all the kinds of relationships out there, all the kinds of people, belief system out there. But we're strictly talking about kingdom relationships. Yep. Go ahead. Now, we got the second people involved, right?
Right. The second people. Like that. The second people involved. Now we're talking about the parents, right? We said when the parents are ready, right? And that could be and that could vary in so many different ways, and we're gonna kind of dive into that as well. And the reason why we brought that up is because there are times when parents are not ready to even have this conversation, which we talked about earlier. You're in high school, they're gonna be like, focus on your life. You don't need to focus on God, focus on your books. You don't need to be talking to me about that. So there are times when parents are not ready to have that conversation or be introduced to a significant other. Now, when parents are ready, for example, could be when you could know, or you could test
their readiness.
When they're ready. Excuse me. When they're the one disturbing you or bugging you about your significant other. There comes a time where parents are just like,
done everything
you not seeing nobody. You not dating anybody. Who's your boyfriend? Who's your girlfriend? You know, there comes that time where they ask those questions. You know, at that point in time that they are ready to meet that person.
Somebody.
You know, they are ready to get to know who this person is. And that's a good indication of when you could bring your significant other if you have one.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah, definitely. Just another way to do a test check, a readiness check, is like you said, when they're the one bugging you about it, but also is, I would say, when they kind of have no choice but to be ready.
Right.
And this part is funny to me because there are people out there who will do what they want to do anyways, regardless of what their parents feel about it. And we're just being realistic and practical, you know. And if you are that kind of person, the Lord will touch you and He will visit you.
Holy Spirit will come upon you.
But you know, because you're forcing your parents you're putting them in a position where they have no choice but to be ready. And we say they have no choice but to be ready because I believe most parents would rather be ready than not be in the know about what's going on with you.
Right.
In other words, if you're going to end up doing what you're going to do anyways, it's best to let them know so that they can give you guidance, advice, and kind of
not involving them
rather than not involving them at all. At least if they're involved, they will be able to give you guidance. It's like they'll be able to advise you. They'll be able to caution you sometimes.
Pray for you.
They'll be able to pray for you and just pray to God that you make the right decisions for yourself and you don't fall into the wrong hands. So in a situation like that, a parent will find themselves in a position where they have to be ready,
no choice,
without a choice, because it is just what it is, right? So we pray that's not the case, because it's not a thing of joy when they have to do it by force. You know, you want them to be able to joyfully say to you, yes, go for it. Yes, I'm in support. You want them to be able to be the one asking you about your significant other. How is this guy doing? How's that lady doing?
You want them to give you. You want them to give you their blessings, which we're going to talk about next week.
Exactly.
As well,
exactly.
You know, if you need your parents' blessings, but it's a parent's joy to see their kid in such a good space, have somebody that loves them and treats them right, you know, get to that point in their life or that chapter in their life. It's always a parent's joy. So the decisions or the actions they take, it's always out of love, like we talked about last week. And we know there are people out there sometimes that just don't care and just like, you know what, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I'm just going to just date and be with this person or whatever the case may be, regardless of if their parents are on board or not. Right? So now we are in a situation where the parents have no choice, but let them know even then. That's pretty much what we're trying to say. So that way they can guide, they can pray, they're involved in the matter and they're not just left in the dark and left out of that situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then the third way to test your parents' readiness, for those who care about their parents' readiness, the third way to test it is timing. Timing and occurrences, I should say.
Yeah.
Right? What's going on currently right now in the life of your parents? Because I believe you wanting to introduce your significant other to your parents should be coming from a place of joy, and you want them to be receptive of the news. There's got to be a right time. You can't just bring it at the wrong time. For example,
I said read the room.
Be able to read the room, read the vibe, read what's going on right now. If, God forbid, there's a tragic situation that happened, somebody just died, nobody want to hear about your significant other right then and there, right? That's not the right time to bring it up, right? Or maybe some people, their parents are going through a divorce, right? And then you should come up and talk about, oh, I'm in love, I have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, I want you to meet them. It's like they want to be there for you, but their mind, soul, and body is not there right then and there, So they may not give you the joy, the reaction that you're looking for at that particular time. Or maybe they somebody just lost their job or something like that, right? Just be able to kind of read the room, find out what's going on currently, and then use your judgment. Because what happens if you don't use your judgment, if you don't read the room to understand that if this is even the right time for me to do this, is that you're being selfish and you're thinking the world revolves around you and you alone, and you don't really care about what's going on with them or around them or to them, right? And so you want to be careful a little bit. You want to say, kind of read the room.
Cause more issue then.
If it's going to cause more issue, right? Exactly.
And what it is. And just also to buttress on that point, know your parents. Know the kind of people your parents are. And I just use this as an example. Like throughout, we were talking and dating throughout the time that I was in college. Throughout the time that I was in college. Wow. But I knew for a fact that I could talk to my mom, because me and my mom, we talk all the time. We have our, talks and stuff like that. But I knew for a fact, I know my dad. I know for a fact, coming to my dad and telling my dad, oh, I have a boyfriend, while I'm still in school or in college, he's going to be like, that's great. How is school? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I know the kind of person, I know the mentality or the mindset he has. So I'm not going to go to him while I'm still studying and still trying to graduate from college and go to him and be like, oh, look, this is my boyfriend. So it was perfect for me to have looped my mom indirectly looping my dad, but I didn't introduce him to them officially, because I knew there was a right time to do that. So I finished college and it's like graduation, and it's like, oh, you already have an idea that I'm talking to somebody. By the way, the list of the vibe checks he mentioned, my friends knew about him, my siblings knew about him, my mentors knew about him. It wasn't loud or everybody's just in my business kind of thing, but they were aware about it. So the minute it got to the point of officially introducing him to my parents, it was almost smooth sailing, because you had an idea, but I was focused. I was, in school, there was no distractions, and now I've done that part of my life, and now it's like, this is the next stage.
This is the next stage.
So know your parents, know the kind of people they are, and we also want to throw out some disclaimers. We know everybody's situation is different, right? For some people, it's easy for them to take their significant other the next day that they started dating. We know every situation is different, but the bottom line is, know when you're ready and know when your parents is ready. Those two things can be different from this couple, from that couple. You understand what I'm saying? I knew it was time when I graduated. For some people, it could have been when they started dating. So just know the right time. And then I also actually wanted to throw this out there. I understand that there's some double standards when it comes to men and women bringing a significant other to their home. And I say this because let me just say, in the African culture, at least I know that double standard is there, right? for men, it's kind of easier to just say, this is who I'm dating. It's almost not even talked about. It's like, oh, that's his girlfriend,
right?
Kind of thing. But a girl brings a guy in the picture and everybody's like, who's this person? Like, you know, so we understand the double standard is there when it comes to the genders, you know, but at the end of the day, in summary, it's still the same ball game surrounding it. For some guys, it's easy to just. I remember my brothers. They were able to just say, "Oh, this is my girlfriend," and nobody cared. If I said I had a boyfriend, hey, Jesus! It wasn't until I'm like, listen, I'm a grown woman.
Hey. Show the pod. Well done.
I'm playing. I'm just messing around, but we do understand that that double standard is there, but in general, this does apply to everybody, both male and female.
Absolutely. And another thing I probably should mention too is that when you're doing the vibe checks with the friends, the siblings, the mentor, and the parents, it happens in different stages, right?
Right.
You can't rush it because your friends need to get to know this person. It's not a thing that happened in one day.
Friends and siblings can even, you know what I'm saying? It can happen at the same time.
Sometimes the friends and sibling checks can happen at the same time because your siblings could be hanging out with you, with your friends. They could, you all could be in the same circle. But the bottom line is they bring two different perspectives, right? But it takes time, right? And then with the mentor, the level of seriousness too is, it's good to vibe check because great. We were able to hang out in a social setting. Everybody was good. We were having fun, laughing and eating and stuff like that. But with the mentor, it's like, okay, I'm going to meet my mentor. Let's be a little serious now. Can you handle a situation like that? Can you sit on the table, in a more serious setting with a mentor that's not even so much a parent, and still be okay and still be yourself and not lose your mind or you know what I'm saying, lose your cool over it. So these are great things you want to talk about. And then I think another thing is like with the high schoolers, man, just focus on school. You got your whole life ahead of you.
You get to this chapter in this stage. Focus on your life. Read your book.
Focus on school. When you focus, you take that focus over to college.
Then you're able to balance things out.
It's like that's when independence starts, and it's like we will guide you, but we can't really tell you what to do. Exactly. But if you have the fear of the Lord, you still do what the right thing is and stuff like that. But at least around that time, your life is getting a little more serious. Everything you do is a little more serious now. And as parents, we're able to trust you more and say, she got it. She can make the right decisions for herself. Or he got it. He can make the right decisions.
And even to point out also on the timelines, this could happen in different years. Like it doesn't have to be in the first year or the second year, whatever the case may be. It's different for everybody what timeline you choose for that to happen.
Yep. And that is it for today. I hope we've shared a tip or two to help solidify your union today.
Don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe, and to comment down below.
And until next time, be the light,
be the salt.
And remember, all things are possible if you believe.